the Rock and Roll Insurance Guy podcast with your host, Albert Munoz.
What's up, Hollywood?
The show starts now.
Live in front of your naked, steaming eyes, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, guess who? Mr. 610 Marketing himself and Hollywood, Albert Jackson Munoz, the Rock and Roll Insurance Guy. Anyway, this came from my neighbor. They went over the weekend to see a game, and they brought me a cap. So, how you doing, big man?
Oh, man, it's the highlight of my week. What's going on? Hanging out with you. Yeah, what's up?
Yeah, well, I'm doing well. We're back in black. Just got out of the shower, got home. I'm going to make something to eat. But aside from that, I'm doing well. I cannot complain. I am blessed.
Well, today's Monday. You got a great week in front of you. How was last week? What's going on with you? What's new?
Well, I'm still doing like 24 college credit hours of continuing education with cybersecurity, annuities, just renewing my license. I think in about 4 or 5 more years, I wouldn't have to renew it anymore because I've already had it for 15 years. So once you hit 20, you don't have to renew it. I don't see why you wouldn't, because laws change every 6 to 12 months. Excuse me. And, it's always good to know what's going on. But there's certain classes that I have to take, and then there's electives. And I'm taking the elective of cybersecurity because of everything that's going on with our phones and computers and whatever it is that you can do.
AI, yeah.
Yeah, AI. And I've learned, I'm using 2 AI platforms, and I'm learning coding as well. So I could be of service to people like you and the people that work with me. Because in my profession, guess what? I can't do it by myself. I need a team. Mm-hmm. And you're part of the team. And in order for me to communicate with you, I have to speak your language. I have to speak IT language. You and IT are like pretty much the same, the 2 sides of one coin? Mm-hmm. Because you guys work so well hand in hand. So I have to learn jargon, terminology, et cetera, how things work. I don't have to know everything, but I got to be able to communicate with you and others in that language. Yeah. So that's what I'm doing. We're working with the Piaget School District, got 2 or 3 more clients this week. 2 or 3 people are retiring. The client that I helped a couple of weeks ago or last week, let me put it this way. They've been my client for about 10, 15 years. We had a passing in the family. We took care of them, did the claim, did everything. Everything just fell into place. Nice. Unlike the other clients, they don't even let me finish an answer. When they ask me a question, these guys say, dude, tell us what to do. I said, you've done everything right. I'll take over. I called the insurance company, called the hospital. Then I called the insurance company again. Because the claims department closed at 5:30, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock at night, and they open at 7 o'clock in the morning. Everybody else is 9 to 5. So I went and started the claim at night, 6:30, 7 o'clock with one person. Then the following morning, I finished it at 7 o'clock. Then I called the funeral home, and then I called a dearly departed's family, and I said, Mr. and Mrs. So-and-so, this is what's going to happen. This is what's going to do. If you need me for anything else, let me know. But at no point in time does the funeral home, the hospital, or anybody else say, hey, you need to give me money. You don't pay anybody a darn thing. Mm-hmm. And they're like, really? We don't have to pay? No. At the point of, let's just say that we have some chick named Mary Martinez for the sake of making this conversation. So Mary Martinez has a policy on her and her mom. So yeah. Say again?
I said, yeah, I'm listening.
Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry. Is it this ear for some reason? When I got out of the shower, I can't hear, and I'm keep rolling this. Anyway, so she told me, hey, Albert, how do we make a claim? And I said, this is all we got to do, A, B, C, D. Okay, yeah. Well, we're already in the hospital. I'm like, oh, shit. So I took off to the hospital. They were in the ICU, and I was there with him, and I prayed, and I met the family, and I just stood there with the dearly departed's beneficiary, which used to be one of my employees back in the hotel business 20 years ago. So when I moved over to Mutual of Omaha and Futurity First, This guy says, hey, man, I want to get insurance and retirement with you. We took care of him. The first time I helped this guy, we got him life and disability. And he had an accident, so the disability kicked in. And then that was maybe 10 years ago. So last week, his daughter called us and said, hey, you know what? How do we take care of this? Because she was the other beneficiary. And she's English and Spanish, and the other gentleman's just Spanish. So we did everything together. We took care of it. And I can say that everything went well. We literally took care of everything over the phone with a couple of little notes and here and there in about 15, 20 minutes. What takes long is the people arriving and doing their part. So at that point, when we were with the beneficiary policy owner, I said, this is your policy. You have this much money coming into you. Do you want the whole check to go to you and then you pay out of your pocket the funeral home? Or do you want to say, hey, let's give the funeral home $5,000 and I keep the rest for me? We can do that. And they had no idea we could do that. I'm like, you can do whatever you want. So we did that. Everything got taken care of. The person wanted to have a service here and then get taken somewhere else to have another service. Everything was taken care of. Everybody's happy. And I think yesterday or later the evening before, the gentleman, the lady that passed away, the son, texts me and goes, Jefe, muchas gracias, todo está bien, gracias por el apoyo. And I'm like, wow, that was fucking worth it. Because that's the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
You know, it's supposed to work that way, but people overcomplicate things. And I understand that we're scared, we're mourning, we're afraid of this, we're afraid of that, we're afraid of the unknown. We haven't done this before and we don't know. So that's why people hire a professional like me. You know, I've been to so many funerals. I think I've been to more funerals than parties. Because once you hit a certain age, that's just what you do. It's like, oh, wow, we know them, we know their family. Let's go give our condolences. And it sucks because having faced death many times in my life, when you see somebody at the funeral home or whatever that you haven't seen, you're just like, wow, it's humbling. It shows how kind and compassionate others can be. And you're like, wow, it puts you in a good mood because you're like, wow, look how many people showed up just to say, hey, I'm sorry for your loss. And you can be surprised how just the little tiny anything can make somebody's difference of a day. So if I can be a positive little bit in anybody's day, I am honored and I am blessed.
Well, the fact that an insurance agent shows up at the hospital to console the family. I mean, I've been around a great many decades, and that's the first time I've heard of someone doing that, like being an agent or a representative of the carrier, which you are. I mean, you're a broker and you put them in this policy. But for you to go above and beyond and sit there in the waiting room or wherever they had you consoling the family and being there, knowing that you were taking care of them and they didn't even realize it yet because they were going to be taken care of after the passing. Like that just speaks to your character. So I want to say kudos to you, man, because I haven't heard of many insurance agents or representatives doing that and going above and beyond. So kudos to you, Albert.
Thank you, Matt. And it comes from experience. It's kind of like what Stevie Ray Vaughan said, one of the greatest musicians to ever come out of Austin. Some people say Dallas, some say Austin, but he grew up in both. So it just depends where he went pro and where he grew up. But if you realize or if you recall, there's a statue of Stevie Ray Vaughan. And to this day, people still put flowers out there. And they don't know who it is. Somebody puts one rose, whether it's a hot day or a cold day. Somebody goes out there and visits the Stevie Ray Vaughan statue. And I don't know what it says at the foot of his statue, but he said something like this, and I'll never forget it. And it's in the middle of a song called Life Without You. Beautiful blues song. And he stops in the middle and he starts talking about how this world is horrible and ugly because people are always in a hurry for themselves. It's me, right? And he says, you see that homeless guy over there? He'll trade spots with you in a heartbeat. You're like, whoa, because he's already been through it. You haven't. And it's like, wow, when you've been through certain kinds of BS in life, you have more empathy and more compassion. I think it's something that we're born with, but I think at the same time you grow with it. Because in the past 2 years, I have been really stressed out. And it has nothing to do with work. It just has to do with maybe hitting a certain age. Maybe I'm going through a midlife crisis. But I have this thing that makes me feel empathy.
Mm-hmm.
I feel empathy, and sometimes I cry. And sometimes that sorrow comes out in anger. But I have a lot of empathy. I feel sorry for a lot of people because
Yeah.
life is hard. And when you're
Mm-hmm.
dumb, it's even harder. And my
Mm-hmm.
stepdad told me, if you're going to be dumb, you better be tough. Well, I'm tired of being both. So I need to rise, Matthew. I need to rise, baby. I need to rise up the rock and roll charts and be number one.
He said, "I'm
Because,
tired of being a tough dumb guy." That's what it is.
yeah, dude, I'm tired of being number two. I'm always number two. Explain to me how sales to me, because it's a sales business.
Yeah,
But I'm not in it for the sales. I give people what they need.
of
And
course.
somehow I go from being the number one agent for the first 3 weeks, and then when all the tallies, because there's always a contest. I've never won a contest in my life. I just
Yeah.
go do what I got to do. And then I was like the number one agent for like 29, 30 days. Oh, this and this and that. You got this and that. I'm like, yeah, I'm number one. Doesn't mean anything. But then all of a sudden, some rookie walks in and they tell the manager, oh, this, I, that, whatever, and whatnot. And boom, they beat me an hour before the contest wins. So I go from being number one
Uh,
for three
to
and a
number
half
two.
weeks to number two. But it's okay. I'm not in it for the contest. I'm just telling you,
Yeah.
what a coincidence. I'm always number two. Fantasy football. I pick my team. Saturday, Sunday, I'm number one. Monday night, I'm in last place. Something happened in that last game where I go from first place to last place. I was watching the Lynx and the Fever playing earlier today. And as soon as I say, I want the Fever to win, they start losing. Like, damn. Turn off the TV, they come back. It doesn't matter. Brock Lesnar and that other guy, what was his name? Kane something, or Velasquez maybe? Brock
Yeah.
Lesnar never lost. Never lost. I get the
Yeah.
pay-per-view at my house. I invite 20 friends. I'm outside barbecuing. I come back in. Oh, he just got knocked out. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
The Astros are going up to bat. I'm like, hey, I'll be right back. I'm going to go flip the fajitas. I'm flipping the fajitas. I come back. The game is over because they got somebody out at first base. I'm like, how is it that every team that I'm going for, I get the pay-per-view, I watch the team, I throw a barbecue, and my people, I miss every key point, every this and every that. Yeah. So obviously, maybe I shouldn't be an athlete. I should just stay the mascot. You know what I'm saying? So yes, I love sports. I love to play it, but for me, it's more about the adrenaline rush.
Yeah.
When you're coming onto the court and you hear the music and the people, dude, that's like the best part of the game.
Yeah.
It's like the best part of the game. And then kids are coming up to, hey, Bucky, hey, Matthew, hey, Bernie. And you're like, whoa, man, these kids have energy, dude. They don't care about the stupid things that all the other people care about. Like, are you woke? Are you a Democrat? You Republican? Who cares? We're
Yeah.
here to make these kids have fun and enjoy basketball.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have an agenda. When you learn sports, because I took a basketball course at Pan Am twice. Before I entered Pan Am in a summer program, because I was, one of those things that you do when the summer basketball camp. I went to basketball camp when I was a kid at Pan Am because that's where my parents went. They're saying, hey, you like sports? How about you try basketball? I'm like, I'm not really good at basketball, man. I'm only good with my right arm. I can throw a football and I can throw a baseball, but when you have to use both arms to throw and catch, it's a different thing because I'm so used to the right hand. And I can grab the ball with one hand and I'm doing this shit. But then I start thinking football and I throw in an elbow and I do this. And next thing you know, I'm getting fouled. You're like, Munoz, it is not football. I said, the son bitch is in front of me, coach. I've had people, like when I was playing defense, The guy was about my height, maybe 1 inch or two, but he outweighed me by 50 pounds, right? So I'm covering him, and he's getting pissed off. And then right when they're going to throw the ball at him, he just grabs me and shoves me because I was so on him that he couldn't get the ball. So I'm good at defense, but once you give me the ball, it's like, oh, panic. Where's Matt? Always throw the ball to Matt or somebody taller, you know? That was my philosophy in basketball. Because 9 out of 10 times plays don't end up being a play. You have to improvise. The play is a guideline. It's like when corporate America says, here's the paycheck and here are the blueprints. Go to Corpus Christi and build a hotel. Okay, you have to do everything yourself. And there's times that you have to improvise and you're going by the blueprints. But it's just a guideline. Now, if you derail from that guideline, guess what the engineer says? You did not stay within the parameters of the guideline. Follow the blueprints. I'm like, okay, fine, we're going to follow the blueprints. And then you go to the engineer, okay, look, the electricians and the plumbers need to go through that pier in the wall. If we go through that wall, because we're not supposed to cut through it or drill it, we're going to ruin the integrity of the structural, whatever the hell, integrity. Oh, well, we'll figure something out. Took them a week to figure out how they were going to put a conduit in a pier about that thick, like an I-beam that supports a wall in a hallway. Oh, it was a disaster. So that's why I said that, because there's theory and practice, and there's time to improvise, and there's time to follow the rules. And sometimes trying to distinguish the two is a real son of a gun. So when I'm playing basketball, it's not like, hey, this guy's open or this guy, I don't know. It's just like, boom, it's an overwhelming kind of thing. All I see is arms and hands. I'm like, oh, man, I can't see what I'm doing here. So I start throwing an elbow and I start carrying that ball like I'm a Heisman Trophy dude and I want to slam the ball, but I can't.
Yeah.
Because it's not one dude. It's 5 dudes and the coach.
Yeah.
So it's a very different mentality, because when you're playing baseball, your worst enemy is the ball. 80, 90 mile per hour, 80 to 90 mile per hour ball coming at your face or your knee.
Yeah.
You know, so you cannot let that fear dominate you. You have to say, okay, let's use science, physics, ball, bat, hit it. And that's what my coach was telling me. He says, if you don't dominate that fear now in life, it's going to ruin you for the rest of your life. Because right now it's just a baseball. But as you get older, what is it going to be? You know, so you have to conquer that fear of the unknown, the fear of disappointment, the fear of failure on a daily basis. When you're playing baseball, that ball is everything. But in life, everything is that ball. And that's why I love sports. Because it's not about the points you put on the scoreboard. It's about, what did I learn? I suck today, but you know what? Matt was there, and all the other guys, every rebound and every shot that I missed, they were there to get the rebound and help me assist somebody, or I assist somebody or something. Because one guy cannot do it alone. Yeah. You know, and I think that's what I like about playing sports. But it's one of those things that your mind keeps learning as your body deteriorates. I remember when back in 92, 93, right as I was becoming the mascot, for the first time, my knees were already shot because I had already played football, baseball, skateboarding, bike riding, et cetera, et cetera. So as I got older, I just went with it, and my knees were popping here and there. I don't know if you heard it. So by the time I was mascot, I had already gotten out of shape, gotten back into shape, which is why I like that little thing that Doc had in the athletic room, where it's best to stay in shape as opposed to get out and get back in. I learned that the hard way. Yeah. But I remember when I was there exercising and doing my crunches and stretching before, like 2 or 3 days before a game, I had just been hired by UTPA to be the mascot. I'm like, damn, I got to get in shape quick. So I was doing all my cardio, running around with a head just to get back into the groove. And that was like the best part of it, because it was just pure focus. It was like Rocky when he was going to fight Antonio Tarver, where it's an exhibition fight and he's too old to do this, he's too old to do that. All he can do is just go in there and get his ass whooped and not quit. And that's all I've ever done in my life. I jump in, I do what I can, and I don't quit. That's the only
Yeah.
reason I'm successful. It's not because I'm the
Yeah.
best. It's not because I'm the greatest, because I'm not. God, my creator, gave me two things: confidence and eloquence. That's it. I have nothing else. Um, and you just got to go with what you got to go, which is why I love rock and roll so much. Because again, it's kind of like when you and I are walking into the field house and the audience is yelling and screaming and number so and so and going, guards, and you're like, oh yeah, and we're coming out through the tunnel, but it's hollering and yelling. That's the best part of the game.
Yeah.
And when we're exhausted and drenched and sweating, and I take off my helmet thing and you're walking this one and we're going into the thing and we just sit on the bench and we're just drenched, catching our breath and like, man, that was a good game. Yeah, it was. Whether we won or lost, when you're sitting on the bench in the locker room and you're just drenched, I would take off my helmet and my hair would come down. I look like Bret Hart. Greatest thing ever. Did I perform like Bret Hart? No, but in my mind, I look like Bret Hart. So
That's so
I was
funny.
happy because when I got out of the shower, I got in the car, I was relaxed the whole way, man. It was like getting a massage. And when you perform at that high level, unless you
Yeah.
get injured, you're not that relaxed. I think the energy that we give out in a game or a performance of anything is the actual performance itself, regardless of what you see on the scoreboard. But we're all here to win. No one wants to be in second place. I sure as
Yeah.
hell do, but I've been in second place my whole life.
Yeah.
When my sister was born, I was in second place, and I still am. So when Michael
That's so funny.
Forgnoli, my corporate representative manager, who's my age, he met my family, and my family loves him. Like my mom when she met you. Oh, Matthew, he's so nice, and why can't you be more like Matthew? I'm like, because Matthew doesn't have to put up with a psycho like you. Everybody always says that. Be more like Michael Forgnoli. Be more like Matthew Palmquist. I'm like, yeah, because when Matthew speaks and Michael speaks, you listen. But you ask me a rhetorical question that I didn't know was rhetorical, and I say, what? I'm sorry, what did you say? I'm talking to myself. I'm like, okay, psycho. So, and I'm not trying to be mean or anything, but women talk out loud and you think that you have to answer every goddamn question. And you don't. They're talking to themselves. So
Yeah.
anyway, when you have to put up with that, you kind of get tired and you're kind of like, in one ear, out the other. So I don't listen to my mom anymore. But when you and Mike are around, oh, they're such good boys. I wish I had a son like that. I'm like, yeah. Well, I guarantee you, I wish I had a mom like theirs, the one that listened. So it's like I tell Mike, dude, my mom gave birth twice and I'm her third favorite kid. It's a joke in
That's
my
so
family,
funny.
but I'm perfectly
Yeah.
happy with it.
That's so
But
funny.
all kidding aside, I'm just happy to be here. I know I'm bitching and complaining, and we haven't talked about rock and roll, but as of rock and roll
Oh
goes,
man. Yeah. No, we had a little Stevie Ray Vaughan in there. Yeah.
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 We also I gotta put that back on there. Um, there's a lot going on right now because it's kind of crazy. It's kind of like deja vu, a 30-year cycle. 30 years ago, the Van Halen news desk was created on the internet, and I would check it every once in a while in between classes here and there. I'd go to the library, the second floor, or wherever we had a computer. You could get on the internet at school. And I remember in the library on the second floor, there was only like 10 computers in the entire library that had internet. Then it went from 15 to 20. Then we had a couple on the first and the second. Then you had the computer lab out there by the field house. So, that internet thing and this and that, because we didn't have devices like we do now. It was very rare that
Yeah.
we had a device. So everything that happened 30 years ago is kind of happening again. If you look at the Van Halen news desk, they're excited about a box set and this album and that album. Eddie Van Halen passed away, but the singer and the drummer are still together. And it's like, wow. And then with all the things that are going on, it's kind of like very heavy with nostalgia in my brain. Everything reminds me of 30 years ago when you and I were hanging out at Pan Am, or
Hmm.
that one little area between the summer to like January of
Yeah.
96. I think that is like one of the best times. And I think that's why I like autumn. But I don't know, man. I'm just a sucker for nostalgia. And I miss the good old days where we were kids. But at the same time, when you're a young kid and you're in college, you're broke. You don't have any money. And
Oh
then you get
yeah.
older and you're broke because you paid all your bills, right? And you're like,
Yeah.
when are we going to enjoy life? So my goal is, and I was thinking about it this morning because the stress is killing me. I think I want to retire in the next 5 years. So we got to become billionaires in the next 5 years,
Okay.
which
You
we
said
can
it.
do, and we can retire because I've had it,
Yep.
and I don't want to quit. I'm not one to quit, but I really think that we need to increase business by 1,000% so we can retire in 5 years. That's what I'm
Do
thinking.
it. Well, that's a hell of a way to end the show, because now they're going to tune in for next week. Like, you're going to give away the plan. What's the idea next week? That's how we're going to do it.
Sounds
So,
good.
so tune in next week for Albert's plan, because we're going to do it. Albert's going to retire in 5 years. It's going to be great.
We are going to retire in 5 years.
I love it. All right, sign off for us, Albert. Till next week, guys.
Till next week, don't ask why. Call the rock and roll insurance guy. 956-460-5431. All right? Thank you, Matt.